This episode is sponsored by Roku, America's #1 TV streaming platform, reaching over 90 million households worldwide. Roku connects streamers to the content they love and helps advertisers engage audiences through both brand building and performance-driving ad formats. Learn more at advertising.roku.com.
I think the onus is on us to provide our clients with better measurement solutions. The onus is on us to help our clients understand, how does brand or consideration or performance actually lead to growth in their business.
Welcome to the Media Leader podcast. I'm Jack Benjamin. Last week, we at the Media Leader hosted our flagship annual event in London, The Future of Media. It was a fantastic 2 days filled with talks from Netflix, Meta, Spotify, Work, Octave, every major agency holding group, Channel 4, ITV Sky, and so many others. We also announced the winners of our annual Media Leader Awards. There is so much to take away from the event, and we're dedicated to capturing it all from news and analysis to thought leadership for our industry. Be on the lookout for continued coverage of the event on our website at uk.themedialeader.com. For this week's episode of the podcast, I wanted to bottle one of the headline interviews from the conference. On Tuesday, I sat down with Niel Bornman, CEO of Publicis Media Connected UK. Publicis is having a landmark year. It is, by some margin, the strongest growing of the major global media holding groups, to the point where its competitors are generally looking to emulate its business model. I wanted to understand what's behind Publicis Group's success and whether its data-driven model is pushing advertisers more toward performance media and what that means for the industry. We also spoke about the future of the agency model and what needs to change to improve Publicis Group's declining share price. This is our conversation. I hope you enjoy. Niel, it's great to have you here. You were recently promoted, so I should say congratulations. You're now CEO of Publicis Connected Media UK. So on top of your remit as Publicis Media CEO, you also now look after Digitas, Epsilon, Influential, and more. Got a lot going on. So appreciate your time this morning. Niel, Publicis is and has been leading revenue growth, organic revenue growth, among the big holding groups for some time now. And it's a trend that I understand sort of began to emerge during and after the COVID pandemic. Can you talk me through a little bit about how your business restructured then and why it's maybe led to some success today?
Sure. Hi, everyone, and thanks for having me, Jack. So the fundamental reality, Jack, is that we've invested in data and technology that allows us to understand people better, we believe, than anyone outside of the Googles and the Metas, right? And so that investment started really 10 years ago with Sapient, and then 6 years ago with Epsilon. That really helped us understand, in the UK, 46 million people at the moment, who they are, their likes, their dislikes, the content they consume. We spent a lot of money to keep refreshing the data asset. And that is the foundation of how we're helping our clients understand who to target, where to target them, and when to target them. And we're now on this journey. You spoke about connected media. We're now on this journey to really help not only have that understanding of people and how we reach them in media, but also how we can connect into consumer journeys. So we can start connecting a media execution into an on-site execution. We've acquired some of the largest companies in influencer, with Influential, in commerce. So we keep investing in these technologies that help us, and companies that help us understand people, how to reach them, and how to start predicting those the category entry points or market entry points for our clients. And that's the key differentiator. And you asked about COVID. My observation, I've only in the group now for almost 2 years, but my observation is that COVID has accelerated how we've put those technologies in the hands of our people to serve our clients. Major global crisis, of course, but through that time frame, it was this massive pressure on all of us to really serve our clients' needs. And the best technology and data we had, we were then forced to get that to the edges of our organization. And I think that's what fundamental differentiator for us. And then lastly, it's not just data and technology and putting it in the hands of our people, but it's also how we organize our organization to serve our clients' needs. And that flattened structure where we celebrate the agency brands, specifically in the UK, say in the Starcom and Spark, there's value in those brands, right? There's value in how people make decisions on behalf of our clients. And so I've invested quite a lot in leadership teams and investment behind the culture and nature of those agencies to really enable the CEO to make faster decisions to the benefit of our clients and their people with this technology and capability we give them.
I'll ask you about agency brands in a little moment. On data, you mentioned that you feel that you're still unique, right? That you're a leader. But there are other holding groups that are sort of taking your model and trying to emulate it. And I'm curious how you view the market and how you view your USP as other competitors are trying to also get into data-led organization.
Yeah, so from my perspective, certainly what we've been able to do over the last 5 years is not only invest in the data to keep it relevant on a daily basis, expand and connect that into other data sets to help us really understand people, but also connect that into a media ecosystem. Working with many partners who are in the room over the last 5 years, we have been able to connect how we understand those people into the media ecosystem. And that journey, others will have to go through still. We've been pioneers in that space. Secondly, we're now connecting that into, as I said, the consumer journey, so into the world of CRM or CXM, into the world of social and commerce, and that's connected media. We've made those connections, and we're able to offer our clients that approach. And now with AI, we've built agentic capabilities and predictive capabilities on top of that to help our customers our clients predict their customers' needs. And yes, I think what's today is happening in AI and agentic is it's democratized the ability to do these things faster, which we're benefiting from at the moment. But I think lastly, it's how you engineer and guide an entire system to be able to do this. So as an example, we've just done our internal awards, and we did the judging yesterday, and we've got dozens and dozens of amazing case studies of how our people and their innovation and creativity and curiosity and problem-solving skills have used this to solve specific client challenges. And I think getting an entire system of 4,000 people to think like that and work in that way is something that sets us apart at the moment. And I think that is something we'll continue to invest in.
We just heard from Peter Field, Mike Follett, Heather, Jess. There's clearly an investment shift that has happened in terms of media, perhaps toward low-attention media. I'm curious, in your view, do you think there is any overinvestment in performance marketing at the moment, or marketing that is maybe with certain media owners, not others?
So I think what has happened over the last many years is that if you think about the tenure of CMOs, if you think about the questions CEOs are asking us, I'm sure all of you as well, how do I have more certainty in my investment that will drive growth in my business? And a lot of businesses and clients we work with today are under economic pressure, right? There's a lot of bad news in the system. And so they're asking rightfully questions. If you think about in the UK, 45 billion pounds are spent in media, 66 billion in advertising services. And there's this underlying question of how much of that is wasted, how much of my spend is not appropriately invested to drive the growth of my business. And I think the onus is on us to provide our clients with better measurement solutions. The onus is on us to help our clients understand, how does brand or consideration or performance actually lead to growth in their business. And frankly, I think we've all had the necessity to get value today and worry more about today's numbers than tomorrow's numbers. And so we're working with our clients to help them understand that over time value, understand intent and consideration as an ecosystem play. And the other thing that I think is really important is that we don't see a media exposure in isolation to a product experience or a brand experience, right? It's well beyond a media exposure, and I think we've done a disservice to ourselves to see that in isolation. And that's again why we've done Connected Media, is to help our clients understand when, how, and where to engage with people through an entire journey, not just in a media engagement.
You talk about sort of cutting out wastage and that the onus of responsibility is on you. What are some other steps that you're taking to try and reduce the amount of waste in the ad market?
So, a lot of clients speak to us about they are under pressure in their media investment, and so we use our data to help them identify only the right people to target. So, for example, many of the clients who move to us will have become, I would say, accustomed to lowest cost reach. They might call it cheap reach, some of them, and I think we're on a journey to help those clients understand that you should pay for high quality reach, you should pay for high quality engagement, but your overall investment can come down because instead of trying to speak to 30 million people who you think are in your target audience, there's actually only 2 million people. For one of our telecoms clients, one of the best cases that we've seen in our awards as well, and the work we did for the client, broadband is a very saturated category. There's only very specific moments, and it's really hard to target the right people. But through our data, we're able to target only those people we predict are likely to shift in the next 2, 3, 6 months. And we can be highly targeted in those engagement, both in media and other engagements we have with those specific individuals. That reduces the client's investment required to reach those people, make it way more specific overall, and then helps drive business value for their business. North of 30% improvement in sales. So these are the kind of things that I think we have to be better at. And then the measurement of that impact is critical.
Mm. At the group level, Publicis is doing well relative to its competitors, as I already mentioned. But that relative success is not necessarily being reflected in share price growth this year. You're down, I believe, around 16% year to date, which to me suggests perhaps waning confidence in the media holding group business generally by at least analysts in the city and on Wall Street. Do you think something has to change within the wider holding group model in order to reinvigorate some level of confidence?
I think there's a number of macro factors playing out that has an impact, right? So we've got, some of our competitors going through phases of their own business cycle. We've got, a major merger that everyone's looking at, saying what's going to happen over there. We've got the question of how AI is really going to transform how we service our clients and their business. And personally, for me, the way I work today is very different to the way I worked a year ago, right? I think we've all adopted capabilities and technologies. We're spending a lot of effort training our people to make sure that they are able to use these technologies. And then there's this, question of the ebb and flow of how we meet clients' needs better. And different clients have different requirements. My view is that as an industry, we need this is the time. This is such an exciting time for us as an industry. We have a unique opportunity to almost reinvent some of what we do and how we do things. And if we're able to emerge from this, I think confidence will come back. But it's really an industry-wide thing that I think is required for us to achieve that. Mm.
You mentioned that you feel you have the best data proposition apart from maybe some of the other really big tech platforms. Do you view the platforms almost as the direct competitor more so than some of the holding groups?
It's interesting. I think the platforms play a critical role in the ecosystem, as does traditional media. We need to find a way to make sure that we can give our clients more confidence in the decisions they make. And that's the differentiator I believe we bring, is this notion of who these people are and how and when they'll be in market, and that predictive capability and the measurement we then supply our customers and our clients. And so I think it's more how we think about the ecosystem and how we provide more confidence than it is this is a competitor or that's a competitor.
Mm. Some of the other holding groups have consolidated their agency brands, namely WPP has sort of gone through an interesting rebranding process there. You mentioned backing your own agency brands. What do you view as the future of the agency model?
I think the agency model has already changed dramatically, but the things that don't change is, I believe, why clients come to agencies. In times of uncertainty, in times of needing a partner to help them make better decisions, that is when agencies really matter. And the brands we have, I believe, have done that time and time again for our clients. So that's why I will continue to invest in those brands. I think people want to feel like they belong to something that has a unique proposition in the market, that looks at problems slightly differently, and that they can help those specific clients who connect with them and help them push forward. Clients also want agencies, I believe, who feel like they really understand their business. They want agencies who invest time, energy, and effort really getting to grips with the key problems of that client and helping them grow their business. So I think there's a big role for agencies to play in that, and some of the brands we have are decades old, and there's heritage and value in those brands, and so we'll continue to invest in that. I think the future agency model isn't too dissimilar to what we have at the moment, right? It is, as an independent agency, it's really hard to go and spend $4.4 billion on a data asset and to manage that and keep growing that. And so there's questions around how do you then provide clients with more certainty if you only have the same data everyone else has that is based on research and survey data, stated intent. It's valuable, but it's not the actual thing that's happening. And so how do you then help your clients be more certain in their decisions? And holdcos are able to do that. Holdcos are able to make massive investments, and then how the agency bring that not only to the people but also their clients is the key differentiator.
Many clients, I'm sure, still appear maybe less interested in the agency than they do maybe the tech spines at the heart of some of the holding groups. And you've talked a lot about all the work you do to integrate that into the wider business. Do you think that some clients are increasingly moving in that direction, maybe caring less about the relationship with a particular agency or a particular planner or strategist they might work with, and more about, I want access to the numbers?
You know, we are an extremely client-centric organization. I work on our clients, as does Artur, our global CEO, as does everyone in our business. We're very client-centric. And in the conversations I have with clients, they want to know they've got the right people on their business, first and foremost, using the right technologies for their business, to their benefit. I don't think you can separate the human creativity, innovation, ingenuity, desire to solve problems, and passion for a client from the technology. I think those go hand in hand. But we've got the benefit to really, invest in that technology, invest in systems that help our people deliver that at the speed of which our clients need it today. Mm.
In terms of AI, mention it a little bit. There are some people that work in this industry, particularly at the platforms, that think AI is going to replace media planning or media strategy to at least a larger degree than certainly where we are today. So in terms of within agencies and within the wider organization, how do you think we should be reorganizing ourselves?
So when I started, I set a mission for us to reinvent media by reinventing media planning. And I don't think it's a replacement. I think it's a reinvention that we've done over the last 2 years, for us at least. Media planning is at the heart of unlocking growth for clients through media and media strategy. It's how that investment is placed behind certain people, how that investment is placed behind opportunities for a brand to put their products in front of the consumers where it matters most. And so that was a big focus for me. We've developed our own agentic platform that uses our data in the hands of our planners. So I see a bit of a two-speed world, to be honest, where we've got clients that are really pushing the boundaries. Their transformation requires us to work in a new way, using AI and agents and data and technology to make a real change to their organization, how they think. But planning remains the fundamental function that we provide as agencies to those clients. We see the industry, we see the ecosystem. It's not just, let's put all money in one place. We're not, betting on 33. We are actually saying, let's understand how that entire journey impacts a consumer's perception of that product or brand, or creates consideration, or makes the sale in the moment through a commerce retail type engagement. But then there's also clients who are in heavily regulated industries who have different procedures and structures in place, and they have concerns about the use of AI, right? And so we are going to work in a bit of a two-speed world, I think, for the foreseeable future. And I'm certainly very excited. And I think as that pertains to people and how we train people, and the education they need and the experience, what makes a great planner, 25 years worth of experience today, is just having made lots of mistakes and having learned lots of lessons through that experience. I think the same will apply, but the way we do the work is going to be different. And we need to facilitate that, I think, for the industry and for our people, and our clients.
During the last session, probably the most asked question from the audience in Slido was something to do with principal media, essentially. You mentioned the importance of getting the planning right. I'm curious what your view is on this topic, because there are probably many in the audience that are concerned that maybe our money isn't being most efficiently spent because of this issue.
So it's, dare I say it, a complicated issue that has there's a lot of emotion around this issue, and there's a lot of people making quite sweeping statements about how bad it is or whatever. Fundamentally, what what happens from my perspective in the industry is when you have a large volume of media that you are responsible for clients, you go and negotiate the best possible price you can get for your clients with that large chunk of media. And then every client wants the best possible price. Every pitch we go through ends up clients asking, well, if I give you a pound of media, how much am I going to get for my pound of media? And that is fundamentally what trading is about. That is about how we utilize the scale to unlock greater value for our clients. And it's a partnership with many of our partners in the ecosystem to ensure that they feel there's fair value in the system for them. Our clients feel there's fair value for them, right? And so fundamentally, trading is really about creating value for our customers and our clients. Then we sit in an environment where we say, okay, much like at Tesco, you go and buy a chocolate bar at Tesco. You don't ask Tesco how much they paid for the chocolate bar. You just want to know you paid the best price for the chocolate bar. The quality of what you get, the value of that chocolate bar is what you buy from them. We then have to create opportunities for our clients to get into certain spaces, whether that's a sponsorship opportunity, whether that's a content production opportunity. We create these opportunities for our clients, and we've got teams and teams of people who do that to create that value for our clients. That's all measured in a completely transparent way to show the client the value.
Is it transparent?
Of course, we show the placement. So I think this is the other thing. The key difference over here comes down to the relationship that we have created between ourselves, a placement opportunity, and the client. And our clients opt in if there's disclosure or non-disclosure of the exit rate we pay for that. It's transparently opted in. So I think there's a lot of complexity in this, and it's too easy to say, oh, well, it's non-transparent and therefore no one can trust it. It's audited from a placement perspective, from a fraud perspective. So there's a lot of misunderstanding about this, and I think as an industry we could probably do better to clear this up and use less, I think, emotionally provocative statements about it all.
Well, we've got a red light flashing, but in a sentence, if you could, Niel, what do you want to happen over the next year for Publicis to keep growing at the rate that it is growing?
So for me, and my team who's in the audience will love this, it's about move faster. I think we have a unique opportunity. It's a moment in time, and the faster we can move to enable our people to serve our clients' needs better, the better for us. But it's for the industry, right? I think we need to be unafraid to take on challenges, unafraid to take on the unknown, and be positive about the potential outcomes of it, but move faster would be my message.
Niel, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Media Leader Podcast. Our executive producer is me, Jack Benjamin. Special thanks to our production partner, Trisonic. You can find all our episodes wherever you get your podcasts or on our website at themedialeader.co.uk. But do please remember to subscribe to be notified when we release our next episode. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at The Media Leader to receive daily coverage of all the biggest stories in media and advertising. From all of us at The Media Leader, I'm Jack Benjamin. See you next time.